Okay, very excited now. I want to have our hot seat. We haven't had one for a whole 2 months. So want to introduce you to Chris and Caroline. So I'm actually quite excited because I recently, obviously this afternoon, I saw, and I've always known about Chris's results because over the weeks, but they finally sent me the spreadsheet that we normally check in and have a look, and it's actually off the charts, and hence why I really want to have a chat with them, share with them their results, but at the same time, have you guys all learn from them potentially of what they're doing and what's making the whole thing tick. So thank you both for being on the line.
Not a problem.
Yeah. So want to know, where are you guys from and what is it that you actually do for a living?
We're actually retired currently after 37 years in business. We kicked the business habit about 2.5, 3 years ago when I turned 67. I thought enough's enough.
Yeah.
We're retired, trying to do some gardening, looking after Carolyn's dad and a few other hobbies, and this has become our obsession.
Oh, nice. And pre-retirement, what type of business were you in the past?
We both had separate businesses originally, and we have melded together. My company used to build the Myer Christmas windows in Melbourne, Christmas windows for David Jones in Sydney, decorate Lend-Lease shopping centres nationwide, Melbourne Fashion Festival, logistics as in stages and backdrops, very, very varied visual merchandising company.
Okay.
Carolyn can speak for her own history.
I have no idea.
She says she has no idea. She ran quite a successful small building business while she brought her children up.
Yes.
And has managed to build a magnificent home, which was her superannuation, because in small business it's very difficult to create a good superannuation portfolio.
Right. Great. Okay. And you guys have been in business for a while. I mean, what's been your relationship towards sort of both finance, money, as well as investing when you were growing up?
My accountant many, many years ago asked me to buy some shares in what was called David's at the time.
Yeah.
A food company. It's now been bought out by Metcash. I've held those shares for probably 25 years. I've had up to 10% dividends paid out on those. I've also held NAB for many years and done dividend reinvestment. So over a period of years, they've both grown quite dramatically. And we've used a bit of that money to finance our start here, along with a bit of our superannuation money.
And lots of term deposits and managed funds and things like the way. Yeah, we've just been too busy basically to...
I mean, back in the day, we used to be able to put money in term deposits and get 10% interest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Those were the days.
They were,
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we had the 17% housing mortgage interest.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. It wasn't win-win, was it?
So, no, as far as shares, I've never actually physically done any myself. My old accountant used to organise it for me, and it's just ticked along in the background. And I think Trisha's also said she's had stuff in the bottom drawer for years. So that's basically how I would classify that.
Okay. And was it because of the longer term holdings, like the Metcashes, for example, paying you high dividends? Was that the main reason, or the draw card that sort of led you towards what you're doing now? That shares is something that I do want to look into because of that past experience.
Our current accountant, when we retired, asked us to try and create some income, and 50% of that income we were able to create by by leasing out one of the factories we still own. We were still a 50% shortfall, and we started panicking a little bit with, our superannuation fund is significant, but it's never going to last you forever. So we started thinking, crikey, if we don't do something, in 10 years' time, we're going to start struggling. So Carolyn is our researcher, and she spent many hours looking at lots and lots and lots of videos on YouTube and wherever researching.
Yeah.
And then one night I jumped into bed and she said, "You have to watch this." So she played your promo.
We watched in bed, Terry, sorry.
Okay.
And I said, "Bugger it, jump in." So we did.
Right.
And we jumped in, and then Carolyn went, "What if it's a scam?" And it wasn't a scam. So,
I panicked for a few days. I'm like, "Oh, no."
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Look, we wanted to create some income. We knew shares were a way to do it.
And we had no idea.
We knew absolutely nothing. So we've started from scratch. Carolyn is an absolute diamond at researching and delving into things. She's got a very big background in accounting, offices and what have you.
Okay.
She's an absolute master with money. My personal company that we both ran, she had all of our finances down to the cent. We never had any problems with accountants and that. So she's very much the hands-on person with the keyboard and all the rest of it. But we're very much a team. We always have been a team. You know, within the business, I would do the hammers and nails stuff. She would do the administration and also project management. So we're tackling this the same. And I guess our company, we never saw the money in the company as ours. It was our take-home wage was ours. The rest was just the company's money. And at the moment, we're viewing this as what we're making in profits is not ours. It's sitting in IB.
Okay.
And we're trying to get through on savings and rental from our factory.
Nice. So, Chris, would you say that you're lucky to have Carolyn then?
I am the luckiest man on the planet. In every possible sense, I am the luckiest man on the planet.
So, Caroline, you heard that here. It's in public too, by the way.
Thank you.
So, I guess before Freedom Trader, any frustrations of prior investments or of what you were doing in the past or not?
I lost one completely many years ago. I had Nilex that collapsed. Lost that completely. I've had disappointments in business. We had a couple of very big losses in business.
Thanks to Barbie.
Barbie's 50th birthday was a real killer for us. But look, losses you can always recover from. You take them as lessons. I always say a mistake is not a mistake unless you make it twice. First time it's a lesson. Second time you're a deal.
Totally agree. And I want you to sort of walk through your Freedom Trader journey because it's been about going towards a year. Would that be right, Chris?
Yeah, we joined October, November last year.
Okay.
Started trading probably in January.
Yeah.
We bought our first share in December, I think. But it's been an epic journey. We have struggled with a lot of things. If it wasn't for Carolyn, we never would have got hooked onto IB or anything because I'm competent with computers. It's just been amazing. It's become a very big part of our life.
Okay. And what would you say as you're going through the journey and, despite the struggles, what would you say would be the milestones along the way? Anything that you sort of hit along the way, then you go, yep, I've got it, and you're moving forward?
Look, I think there was a period back towards the start of this year where the market was very kind to us. And the US market was very kind to us, and we started making profits and thinking, holy dooly, this is truly amazing. Like we were hoping to pay our joining fee and things back within the first year. Man, that's done within the first month.
That's good to hear.
So, look, the excitement sets in. Don't for 1 minute think we haven't made mistakes. With my previous shares that I've held, I probably jumped into too big position sizes in my superannuation account.
That was led by the accountant.
Led by the accountant looking for dividends and what have you. I've got I've got one that's down 50%, but look, at the end of the day, it's not going to kill me. It's not that big a percentage that it will knock us off the planet. But yeah, look, it's just been a truly amazing journey, and I have to thank community on Facebook, which Carolyn drives again. You know, help from Chindara, June, Tricia, all manner of people. It's just such a wonderful thing to have people who are not competitive, everybody sharing, and I just find that truly magnificent.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also blessed to have members like yourself and so many of, as you're aware, people who, like you said, aren't competitive and just are there to help each other. Really, in the end, and everybody's on the same journey. Of course, different levels of experience, but also different stages of life. But everybody just chips in and chimes in when they can.
Yeah, I know, it's been fabulous.
Yeah, and any particular through this last, almost 1 year journey, any particular aha moments that sort of, what would I say, aha moment where you've learned something dramatic that has made the difference?
What do you think?
Probably when we realised that we could make something of this.
Yeah, we were quite nervous in the beginning, and when we did Blueprint originally, we wrote down that we were very conservative, we were risk adverse.
We're not conservative.
We found out we're not. We're just a pair of cowboys in Mount Evelyn in Melbourne, and yeah, we're doing some crazy stuff.
So you in a way you've learned about yourself doing Blueprint and physically being in the market then.
Oh yeah. And look, one of the biggest changes too is Carolyn's been through it tough with bringing her kids up and what have you, and she's always put herself last. And in the last 6 months, she's seen stuff when she goes out and what have you, and thought, I can buy that now. What the hell?
Right.
And we're not talking big things. We're talking new toothbrushes or stuff, No, it's given us that little bit of freedom to know that in the background there's an income along.
Yep. And it's only going to pretty much get better from here as well, just from the experience you already have. So it's actually marvelous from my point of view. No,
it's brilliant.
And so now these days, how much time? I mean, you say it's a large part of your life. How much time are you spending on running your freedom portfolio now?
20 out of 24 hours.
No, you're going to hate our answer, but in reality, we do it together mainly.
Sure.
We would be spending 20 hours a week on it because we're so obsessed. We're trying different systems to keep a clear mind on things.
And in saying that too, I've come from bookkeeping where I like all my paperwork and I like everything. So yeah, everything's written, everything's on paper. Yeah, double checked, double looked, double.
Look at, even on a daily basis, I scan 250, 300 trades or positions every day. We don't do it with screeners all that often. We find we've learnt more by doing it by eye. Yes. And that's something, by the way, what you just mentioned, Chris, is, people say, oh, you just set up the scans, which we do, but I'm the same as you. I personally also, with all my current portfolio, every single day I run through it. Despite having a scan, I don't physically use the scan for the exit. So anything I own, I literally will scan through the entire portfolio to also just for some reason subconsciously know where the stock is at in terms of the pricing and the chart. So I will go through the whole thing as well. Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, it's good to learn what the company is doing and watch the ups and downs, and you sort of get that little feel for what's happening.
We've created a silly spreadsheet that we call our ups and downs, and at the end of each day, we write down where we're at dollar-wise with all of our positions.
Wow.
It takes a little bit of time, but being that we're visual people, I find by visualizing things, it sticks in my silly old head better.
Yep.
Tricia would be appalled with me. She'd be appalled with my computer skills. But no, we really enjoy, like, we'll go through 100 smart money shares every day. We'll go through a list of probably another 80 to 100 of potential buys. and go through our 80 to 100 positions that we hold. So
yep.
It can be done quite quickly. It doesn't take a lot of time.
Yeah, and it's because obviously you've done it for a while now, and it's becoming second nature. Would that be right?
Oh, correct. In the beginning, we were just floundering around here, not knowing what the heck we were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So what I'm going to do now, Chris and Carolyn, I'm going to bring up, and thank you for sharing your spreadsheet. I'm going to bring up your spreadsheets. I know you sent me two. One, I believe, is there were two. One would be the super fund, and one is the outside of super. Is that right?
So we just have like a trading account, and then we have the super as well. So
we sent them to you as Carolyn's trading account, and Penny Hayton is our superannuation.
Yep. Okay. Got it. No problems. So I'm just going to put that on the screen so everybody can see. So I'm going to go at the one that I have now is the trading account. So this is outside super. So what I've done though, can I just check? Can everybody see the spreadsheet on the screen? Yep. Okay. So what I've done is just obviously for privacy reasons, I've blocked out, from the dollar figures point of view. So the only dollar figure really is just how much the share actually cost. What most importantly though is the ROI, dividend per share, etc., and what they've achieved. And I do want to just make it clear that this is not a small. Both of these portfolios that I'll share with you are not small portfolios; they are six-figure portfolios. So again, it's not about the numbers or about the actual size of the portfolio, but over time, as you get confident, you will scale up over time. And can I just check with both of you, when you started, I assume you did obviously start with this large amount right away. You started off a little bit smaller. Would that be right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we probably started with about 20,000 in each.
Excellent. So again, I always stress to everybody, and especially the newbies that are online, please do not go in too big. Yes, our system works, as you'll see. However, to gain that confidence, it's not about my results. It's not about seeing the results of both Caroline and Chris, and having that sort of prove to yourself the system works. Ultimately, everybody here needs to prove to yourself that the system works by getting your own results or own positive feedback, and in that way, you will get the confidence automatically to scale up, and which is what both Chris and Caroline have done. So. Thank you again for sharing this. This is actually quite awesome, and I was actually quite surprised with the results that you've achieved, because I think it's I would probably say it's probably one of the best I've ever seen. So this is the reason why I do want to have a chat about the journey, but also sort of what has made you get these type of results. So as you can see, this is the portfolio outside of super. I'll do one portfolio at a time. So what they've done is, in the past, like what Chris and Caroline said, they officially started trading back in January. Would that be right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And so in January, and since then, completed trades has been roughly about 100. It's sitting at about 144. Just want to confirm. 144 minus 9, roughly about 135 completed trades. And again, most importantly, if you look at position sizing, despite being a six-figure portfolio, the position sizing, very, very important. They are scaling depending on, I assume you're going from 0.25, 0.5. I'm seeing different percentages. Is this, again, following what we say, where when it's high market risk, you lower it? When it's low market risk, you heighten it? Would that be right?
Yeah.
No. When we started off, we had a smaller amount in the pool.
Yes.
So our position sizing actually changed the more money we put in. So we didn't sort of go back and Chris marked that bit up.
Okay.
I got a lot of confusion too with the US market.
Right, but at the moment, but in the broad sense, what you are doing now with the current portfolio, you are sort of lowering and heightening it depending on market risk. Would that be right?
Yeah, you'll find there some 0.25s, and that's when an absolute panic but still want to keep trading.
Or they're riskier trades.
Got it.
So, we've taken a couple of lithium mines, for argument's sake, that are probably quite high risk, but 0.25%, what the heck?
Okay, got it. Yep. So again, this is where, if you're seeing it as a potential high risk investment or trade in your own mind, this is what they've done, and it's a very prudent approach to lower it. Therefore, if something does go wrong, i.e. what they've said, lithium mine, if it does go wrong, it's okay because it's such a small portfolio size that it won't dramatically affect it, the overall portfolio. And most importantly, let's go to the results. This is what will blow everybody's mind. So I want to go to the completed, which is a summary of all the completed trades. So this is what they talk about starting from January. Of course, we're just starting September now. So it's really been a full sort of 8 months of results that is easily seen here. 17 trades, all long, no short positions, of course. And out of the 17 wins. So 100% success rate. 14 and 14, 100%. In March, 26, 100. And on one hand, even though it's been 100 for months, and then finally in July, went down one loss out of 14, 93.
And I did cry. I did cry, Terry.
Okay. And I'll ask you, how much did you lose on that one?
We lost 1.2%, I think. Basically, we had two positions in one company, and we sold them together, and then
it was early one morning, and we may have been cranky with each other. It's like, I'll just sell the bloody thing, and then it's like, no, you've ruined my record.
I think you're crying because not because of the money you've lost.
Not because of the money.
I think it's your record, right?
It's my record.
yeah, it's an incredible record. And then, but what's most impressive as well is if I scroll down here and I look at the average ROI. Again, I've pushed up the dollar figures for privacy. So average ROI on each one, 9.8, 30 days held, extraordinary. Then you got 9 the next month, same thing, 9.8 at 29 days, then 5.3 at 36, 5.5 at 50 days, 4.7, 15, 11 at 57, and another 9.8, which is similar to the first at 57 days. And this one, 11.4 at sort of just over 3 month mark. And of course, this one I won't use yet because it's just beginning of September. But literally, these are, I just want to say congratulations, incredible results.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And I want to now go across to your other portfolio as well to show this one was outside of super. I now want to push across to, this is the super now. So on the completed super trades, row 9. So very similar number in terms of trades completed. And if I go across to the results and similar position size wise, very similar to the first time. But if I go across to results, then I look at in January, there's only 2 trades. I assume this one is because on the super fund, it started a little bit later. Would that be right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think actually, no, my apologies. In the other one, I forgot to look at result 2020. I think you actually had December results in the last one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this one, 2, and then they had 14 out of 14, so 100%. Then 25 out of 25, 100%. 32, again 100, and the super fund so far has had no losses in a way. It's been 100% all the way. Would that be right?
Great.
That's correct.
Beautiful. So 7.3 at 13 days, 7.6 at 25 days, 4.7, 35 days, 7.3 at 49 days, 11.3 at 29, 10.9% in a month and a half, and 11.7 in just under 2 months, and 7.3% in about just under 4 months. So again, and then September, already 8 at 7.4. So extraordinary returns. Again, so very, very, very similar. Are both portfolios run concurrently as very similar investments and trades?
No,
not all the time.
No.
We've doubled up a few recently.
Yep.
Which I guess is going back to your long-term portfolio idea of going across both.
Or to save on arguing when he wants to sell and I want to hold. So we hold in one, we sell in the other. And,
nice.
Yeah, sit tight sort of thing. So,
but look, it's I guess these figures I always find as somewhat distorted in that they're our trades. Our actual portfolios have all our losses sitting there.
Yep.
But Carolyn's portfolio being the out of super,
yep,
currently sitting, I think, at 11% gain.
Yep.
And the superannuation is just over 5%. And the superannuation's where I've got some big losses sitting.
Right.
But what I have learned over the years is some of those big losses, I'm positive, will come back. And Magellan's one of our losses, and I'm happy to possibly buy a little bit more and watch that come back over the next. If it takes a year, it takes a year. I'm not fussed.
Yep. Oh, that's great. And if I was to like look back on, say, your this is the super fund, and if I was to look back and just say, obviously we're seeing great results, what would you say would be the main contributors to the results you're getting in terms of your actions, or is it mindset or actions or certain things that you're doing?
I think when we buy, we look for stocks that have a minimum of 10% potential movement and preferably 15% plus.
Okay.
And that, I think, gives us the potential. We initially set out thinking if we could make 7.5% on a sale, we'd be very, very happy. We've had, as you've seen, a lot of them run at about 10%. We get the occasional good one that pops up at 30% or whatever. But I think it's allowing the movement at the purchases. At the moment, we find a lot of the stuff that we buy is potentially only got a 6 or 7% potential movement. But with the market being as high as it is, particularly in the US market, we're just not finding those big gaps. So in order to keep making money, we're prepared to drop our percentages down just to keep trading, because it's all about compounding to me.
Yep.
If you keep your money moving, if I can turn $1 over 3 times in a year at 5%, I'm a happy man.
Yep. Okay. And when you talk about the potential of 10 or 15% move, what is that being based on? Is it a previous high of a stock, or is there like a sort of a level that the stock has been in the past, recent past? Is that right?
It's recent past generally. We also look at average. If we can get 10% movement up to the average line,
okay,
then we're really happy. That would normally mean if it goes past average, you can potentially get 15 or 12 or whatever. But I find if you were to jump into a share that only had 3 or 4% movement to its previous or recent previous high, I think you're limiting your opportunity. And to me, my money is better put somewhere else.
Yep. And that's actually in a way subconsciously myself. That's what I also do as well, because if it's only 3 or 4%, the issue is that if it does break through that, great, but there's a high risk that it won't. So therefore, having that 10, 15 or 20% that you said from a previous high, just having that massive gap that you can see potentially doesn't mean that it will necessarily get there. But even if it doesn't, if it only goes halfway, then you're still happy with that gain.
That's precisely.
It comes back to your saying risk to reward.
Yep.
That's our mantra, risk to reward.
Risk to reward, yeah.
Particularly with the market being as high as it is at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I'm looking at your ROI and the number of days on average, and from the 3s, once in a while you get the 2s, but other times from a 20-day hold at 35%, 22%. So these do, when they pay off dramatically, which is awesome. And I want to know, just based on your experience so far, from where you were before to where you are now, how has Blueprint and Inner Circle actually helped you in terms of getting these type of results?
Oh, it's imperative. We have learned, couldn't have done this without your business, without your mentoring.
The accountant had been pushing for months, come on, you've got to, do something. And I kept going, where do I start? I have no idea. And I couldn't find anybody to help me. So I went looking, and as I said to Chris, I spent hours and hours listening to people talk and sort of I'd finish at the end of the night and he'd say, what have you learnt? And I'd say, I have no idea. And then I listened to your introduction and I said to Chris, wow, I said, I actually understood this bloke, really like,
okay.
Yeah, come and listen and see what you think. And
in our parlance, you speak plain English. We appreciate the fact that it's not all jargon, because one of my pet hates in the world is jargon. And look, we have a lot of respect for Vietnamese folk. We shop with Vietnamese folk. We have been to Vietnam a couple of times. We absolutely love the country.
That got you across the line. I grew up with all the Vietnamese kids. That was in my era when everybody was coming into Springvale in
yes.
Melbourne. So,
yes.
Yep, that got you across the line, Terry.
All right, okay.
But also your life story, with losing your dad under such tragic circumstances, and your mum must be so proud of you, as I'm sure you are proud of your mum. Yeah, so look, it's I don't know, there was an instant connection for us with yourself. It's so lovely to talk to you, and I warn those that I can get to when COVID is settled. I want to come to Sydney and sit down and have a meal with you folk, and I want to get to Adelaide and meet Trish. And
nice.
We've got a motorhome. We want to get out and hopefully touch base with some of the farmers who I have great respect for also.
Anybody that would talk to us, really.
Well, it's with this business, we find also in our life, it's hard to find people to talk to because most people just glaze over with all this stuff, whereas we're so excited.
Or they want to know, have you made your first million yet, or how much have you lost?
It's all about the dollars for most people, but to connect with like-minded people, I think would be truly amazing.
Yeah, I mean, pre-COVID, I mean, every state except for Northern Territory, there's basically a group gathering anyway in terms of having lunches and dinners. So New South Wales, Sydney had one, Chindarra and June do run the Sydney one. Trisha, for example, has the Adelaide one. Melbourne also has one as well, but it's just, of course, with COVID, everything's been locked down. So I'm actually hoping that once COVID is finished as well, I'd love to have another. I mean, it's been about 2 years now. I actually literally 2 years ago, I flew around Australia to meet as many students as possible that were free to come out and have lunch. So when it does calm down a little bit, I'd love to also fly back down to Melbourne and grab a meal with you guys as well.
No, anyway, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the Facebook group enough. Chindarra and June have been great supporters and talked to Carolyn a lot. So, yeah, fabulous. Thank you very much to everybody that's helped us along.
No, and thank you for being great members as well, being able to share and help inspire others, because I'm pretty sure your results, but also what you've said tonight is definitely helping a lot of people as well. So, yeah, thank you both.
I think one of the main things that probably helps for us more than anything is don't look at it as if it's money. It's just numbers. I've done accounting all my life and everything, and they're numbers. At the end of the day, they mean nothing, but they're numbers.
And concentrate on the percentage number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Particularly for beginners, you're going to feel so out of your depths as we did, but with all the support, you will get there. And our biggest failing is our time available to do the research we want to do. We have some other pressures in life which slow that down, but that's our biggest goal for the future, is to attempt to put more time into research and valuations and all the rest of it. We've failed quite miserably at that, but
we'll get there.
With the support of yourself and Trish and others, we find we've managed to muddle through.
Yeah, no, I think you've done. I mean, you've been very consistent, and even from our conversation tonight, in actual fact, I actually truly believe that it's because of the effort that you've put in. You talk about 20 hours a week. I know a lot of our members don't have that type of time, but just that consistency of just going, and I know you say you muddle through, but you are muddling correctly. And yes, it's not always going to be a perfect week, but just by doing that consistency, as you can see, it's paying off in your results, which is great. And it only gets easier too. That's the other thing, as you keep on going, because it becomes, like I said, second nature once everything is up and running.
The only thing that's not second nature is getting up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, true. Very true. However, what I've discovered as well is, I mean, we've got a lot of Singaporeans and also, people from WA, which, don't do that, don't do the early morning, and they just put limit orders. And I've done a full test run for the last 2 weeks, and I'd say over 90%, 95% of my investments are going through the limit orders. So it's something that potentially that can happen during winter months where daylight savings, it's too early, that can happen as well?
We actually start the morning with the iPad in bed, and it's like, if he's asleep, I'll scan through. I go, no, just stay there.
Right.
If there's stuff to do, get out of bed.
Yeah.
We're going downstairs.
Yeah, awesome. Can I just ask, what would you say would be the, say 1 or 2 takeaways, lessons and actions that you could share with our fellow members? I know one of them you already mentioned, I think it's very important, is you look at the, not the dollar figures, but the percentages and the numbers. Is there anything else that you'd like to say that you think that will help shift their mindset and towards that successful level?
Oh, look, I think fear and greed is something that's very hard to control. We're getting a handle on that. I'm probably not as fearful as Carolyn at times. But yeah, look, I think fear and greed is probably the hardest thing to get your mind around, and selling is always way harder than buying. So look, it's just, everybody has to find their own space. Everybody has their own aversion to risk or lack thereof. I thought we were very conservative.
So did I, but we're not.
We're clearly not.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've just found this whole journey to be totally amazing.
Awesome. Actually, can I just delve in a little bit when you said that you thought that you were, super conservative, but in a way you're not. What either trades, investments, or actions that made you sort of shift towards that thinking of that you're not as conservative as you thought?
I think in the beginning we were finding so little we could actually buy. I remember talking to Trish one day and saying, we just sold out a heap of shares and the market had gone flat. And I said to her, what do you do when things go flat like this? And she said, it won't last, and it doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
It comes back. So yeah, I think it's just been all part of the growth, and our conservativeness that we thought we had has waned. And because it's working, we're prepared to take what I call a calculated risk, because your system is a calculated risk.
And I think we've proven that if we lose on something, there's something around the corner that you'll actually make gains on. So there is no loss in the end. If you keep going, you'll make up for anything.
Well, look, even if we sold out everything tomorrow, we would still be way ahead.
Yeah. And I saw that in the current plus the exited. I looked at the overall, and it's actually quite amazing. It's awesome, really good.
Fantastic, thank you.
No problems. Yeah, and I know already probably know the answer to this. Would you recommend Blueprint and Inner Circle to others?
No, never. Sorry, Terry. You didn't get that check through.
Okay.
we have
absolutely.
We have a close friend who's had a lot of health problems of recent times, but prior to that he spent so much time doing day trading, and he has been at it for about 4 or 5 years, and he's just got nowhere. But I cannot talk him into putting the effort in. So look, it's not for everybody, but anybody who wants to get into this, I would recommend Blueprint at the drop of a hat.
And your long-term portfolio going forward is an amazing thing for people starting out that do have the time left. I mean, we're looking at us going, we want to make the money now to make sure that, in the long term we can have choices and, finish our lives the way we want. We don't have to rely on anybody.
I mean, our greatest fear was having to sell our home and downsize, because we live on 4.5 acres, and Carolyn built a beautiful home, quite large, that we live in.
And that was my super.
That was her super. So we don't want to lose this lifestyle until we physically have to.
And now, even if we physically can't cope, we will be able to financially pay other people to come in, and we can the life that we want. So
beautiful.
It's perfect.
All we need now to complete it is for COVID to go away and us to get in our damn motor home and stop it rusting in the driveway.
Yeah, no, beautiful. I mean, ultimately, that's really what investing in trading is all about. It's about lifestyle and that choice to create not a ton of money, but money so you can live the life that you want. And that's really what it's all about.
Oh, that's it in a nutshell.
Cool. Yeah, no, thank you both.